Hello, Jim Howard here. This is going to be just sort of a little video blog, update you on a little bit of what's going on around here. I've been moving things around for the last few days, weeks. I'm moving stuff here all the time. The reason for the moving of stuff around, I now have my Windows 10 computer and monitor over on this side. Over here I've got my old computer, and I have my new monitor, the small monitor that I got. I made a mistake. I should have got a 27-inch monitor. On that old computer I have just installed dual boot. I have Ubuntu, the latest version, 16.04 I think it is, and I have the latest version of Linux, what is it called? My mind is a blank. Zorin, and it's version 11. So, behind me I have my television set back there, and as you may know, I canceled a long time ago cable service, except for the internet service. The TV service is gone. But I am signed up for Hulu and Netflix, and I'm an Amazon Prime user. I just had to pay. That kind of hurts because it was kind of unexpected. I just had to pay the $100, $107 for my next year of Amazon Prime. I've got Amazon Prime so I can get free shipping, 2-day shipping, and also because I review products. When somebody wants me to review a product, they just give me the code, and I enter the code and usually get the item for free. Probably if I didn't have the Amazon Prime, they'd probably want me to pay maybe for the shipping. Some of them would. So, I'm not sure if I've done the right thing or not. I wanted to reduce, so I've got 3 things that I'm paying. I don't want to end up paying more than of course I was paying them, I think $150 for what? Was it $150 for cable service with high-speed internet and what have you. But I just signed up for 7 days free trial of PlayStation well, I guess .vue, and I took the 60 channel deal. Now it varies by where you live, the price of the city or whatever. So I'm getting 60 channels for $40 a month. But you can see on the screen the offers that they have. So I took the 7-day free trial, and so well, they tell you here, I think, let's see. Well, I don't want to do an ad for them, but I get CNN now, and a bunch of other channels, well, 60 channels. I get local TV stations, live. So I'm getting a lot of stuff. So that's sort of what's going on now. The deal works with, if you have a PlayStation, it works with your PlayStation, but it also now is available, and there may be some other ways you can get it, but it also works with Roku. So I have I have a TV set here that has a Roku 2, In the living room, I have a Roku TV set, and so we can get, actually, we haven't activated in there yet. I've been a little lazy. So, what else is going on around here? A couple months ago, I don't even think I ever did a review on it. A couple months ago, I purchased a blue BLU cell phone, and I just love it. And it was $150. And then I put this case on it, though. After I got it, almost immediately I saw that they had a blue, I think it's the XL, for $300 with 3 gigabytes of memory. Well, let's see what all it has. But this is not it. This is a camera that I have to review. Here's a plant light that I have to review, and ham radio battery. This I have to review. This is the new phone that I just ordered, and I'll get it Monday. And unfortunately, it's $300, but then I have to pay $25 in taxes. It's kind of strange. I guess it depends on where it comes from, because a lot of times I order stuff on Amazon and I don't pay any taxes. And this I got to pay $25 in taxes. But it has a 5,000 milliamp battery. I'll be doing a review of this, although I don't think I've done one of this one before. And has a Super AMOLED curved design, Corning Glass 3 fingerprint scanner, and 64 gigabyte of internal memory, 3 gigabyte RAM, SD card up to 32 gigabytes. And anyway, it looks, I was actually going to get a ham radio, which I hardly ever use the ham radio. Very rare that I use it. But they got a new digital one out that does everything, and I decided I was going to get it. And then today, when I was going to order the ham radio, I thought, I never ever use it, but I do use my cell phone a lot. I use it for weather. I have a exercise walking app on there. I use it for the stars to see where the planets are. I use it for APRS for ham radio. And I thought, the ham radio I never used. The cell phone ends up getting used a lot for various purposes. And so I just went ahead and ordered this. It will be here Monday. I think I'm really going to like it. It has a 6-inch display. That reminds me, I don't think I'm very observant about myself. And I honestly did not know until like this year, maybe last year, I have very small hands. The way I found out about it, or noticed it, was some people wanted to send me some shooting gloves, I think it was. Or, let's see, it wasn't exactly shooting gloves. I had, what were they called? Anyway, so I had to do the measurement. And I thought, wait a minute, this must be wrong because it shows that really it's small size, And then I realized, hey, I have small hands. Which I should have known about because for 30 plus years I had to qualify every year with a handgun. And I never paid any attention to grip size or anything else in any of the revolvers or the auto that I bought. I just never paid any attention. I might have shot a lot better if I'd have had the right kind of grips on the thing. So this is going to be maybe a little, cell phone's be maybe a little large for my hand, but anyway, I'm going to be getting that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this. Let's see. I don't have a PlayStation. My grandson has one in his room. But, so there's the PlayStation Network. There's PlayStation VUE, PlayStation Video. Know Your City. I was looking to see where the, let's see. Browse the store, no. News. I was looking to see what, it was a little bit confusing setting this, I thought, setting this up for, because I saw a link someplace, and I went to it, and it was, oh, I know, it was just on my Roku, popped up over one of these boxes on the side, said, hey, you can get, So I went to it, and it pops up and says, well, you need to sign up for a trial, and then go to PlayStation.vue or whatever it is, /Roku. So I went there, and then went to sign up, and then there was no mention made of Roku at all. And so anyway, I signed up, and then it figured out, and then I had to enter the number, and then I've got it. I don't know how well you can see the screen here. It really works pretty good, but it's a little bit confusing, I think. Oh, I think if you use a PlayStation and you use a PlayStation controller, I think you have, because I'm using the Roku controller here, I think you get have better control, because I don't own a controller, but I think maybe something better to look at here. This is something I have noticed. It seems a little slow on sometimes getting into it. To it, you can go along and pick out things, and if you click on My Station, then it records them for you when the shows come on. Say you pick out, I don't know, some TV show, and you click, let's say, from regular TV. Okay, here we have live TV. So I can go over and I can get CNN. And really, I miss having CNN because, when news items, big news items break out,
judges and parts of the judiciary have been put aside. So they really are going after a lot of people.
So it's kind of nice to have CNN when Turkey has a revolution or there's been a terrorist attack or something like that. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or not, but I got about 6 more days. You may remember I reviewed a microphone just like this. In fact, I think it's got a different name on it from a company. It has a different number on it, but it's identical. But I was sent another one for a different company, so I'm going to be reviewing that. And since I have to review it, I will probably pull out I'll probably compare it against the other one that I got, that I purchased, and I'll compare it also against the Blue Yeti. So, and I think these two that look identical and are, I'm sure, identical, I'm sure they'll sound identical, but I still do it that way. This one that's a copy here of the GoPro, it's really a pretty good deal. It's $70, and they give you a ton of accessories. Here you go. They give you all and I think with a GoPro is more expensive, and I think the GoPro, one of the things they do is also even send you an extra battery for this. I think the GoPro people charge for all these extra attachments. So I'll be trying to give it a workout and doing a review on it. What's this? Here on the Linux. Says the update information is outdated. This may be caused by network problems. Show updates, install all updates, check for updates. Let's check for updates. I'm using, okay, there. That's the Logitech C930E, and hooked up to the Linux computer now is my old C920. I think that's about it, but I'm going to be, since there's so much talk about right now and discussion of racism and police shootings and all this type of thing, I think I'm going to be doing a video. I did a video that, what was that, 50 minutes? About the shootings at St. Joseph Hospital back around in the early 1970s. I think what I'm going to do, and I remember making a little video that had a little bit of that in there. I'm going to make another video, and what I'm going to talk about, I'm 75 years old. So I'm going to talk about my life and relationships with blacks, or coloreds as they were called back in the old days, and racism. And this is going to be from my perspective. Take that in consideration. That's why I'm telling you I'm 75 years old, born 1941. I graduated from high school in 1959. The high school I graduated from, an all-Catholic male military high school, was in the blackest part of Kansas City. You ever heard the song, going to Kansas City, going to 18th and Vine, get me a bottle of wine. My school was at 16th and Paseo, I think 2 blocks over from Vine, so about 3 blocks away or something like that. I rode a public bus to and from school. I was the driver might have been white, I can't remember, but when I took the bus in the morning to school, and when I took the bus home, I was the only white person on the bus. I lived when I was living with my parents, we ended up living we were like for the second house, we were just about the last people to move out of the area when it became black. But when I was walking home, sometimes I walked home from high school in a uniform that would make you a target. And I never had any trouble. Like I said, I graduated in 1959, walked through black neighborhoods, got stopped a couple times. One time I got stopped by three young black boys. I can say that I think now because or then I was a boy too. Three boys about my age, and they said, "Have you got any money?" And I said, "No, I don't have any money." And then for some reason, I patted my pocket, and I always had a pocket full of change for Coke machines and candy bars and what. It went jingle, 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 and then the kid said, "You got money?" And I don't know where I came with this excuse, how I just came up with it. I said, "I got to pick the cleaning up for my mom." And the other black kid said, "Leave him alone. He's got to pick up some stuff for his mom." And I was all right. Like that was 1959. Well, the civil rights movement, it was begun before, but in the 60s, I don't think I would have survived walking home. In the late 60s, late 60s, there was race rioting in Kansas City, Missouri. So things changed. But I want to talk about, and the big thing when I talk about is going to be, I think a big part will be when I worked at Trinity Lutheran Hospital and the director of security was extremely racist. Some of the security officers were, and it turns out that the entire second shift were racist security officers, and any black security officer that got hired in on that shift didn't survive, didn't make it. They ran him off. They did things to, well, when a new black security officer would be hired in, he would go over on that he went to that shift, and they would orientate him. They would show him around, and they would say, "These are the doors that need to be locked, and at this time, these doors need to be unlocked." And they would show him around, buddy with him. And then when the time would come, after a few days, "Okay, you think you're ready to, lock the doors and unlock them?" And, "Oh, yeah. So he'd go and do it, and then Chuck Moore and Cleo Brisbane, the supervisor, they'd go around and unlock doors that were supposed to be locked and lock doors that should have been unlocked. And then they would, come to him and they'd say, "Well, we just went around and we found it." And the poor new guy would, I thought, so they'd show him again or something. And they would do, and then eventually they would just tell the director of security, "Oh, this he's stupid." So there's more to it than that, but that's going to be a little thing, and I hope it doesn't run 50 minutes, but I got a feeling it might. So I'll warn you when I make that video what it's about, and you can skip it, if you want to. But there's a lot to that story, and I'm very proud of myself, the way I handled it and what I did. And it's a little funny thing about it. I think I already mentioned it in a video, I believe, but I'm going to put it, in that video also. That's funny and kind of, ironic, and I just kind of love moments like that too, when somebody thinks they know what's going on, and when they and when you don't say anything, you don't defend yourself, and then without defending yourself, somehow they become aware that, "Hey, man, I was really wrong." So that's what I'm going to be discussing in one of these videos. I don't have to discuss the situation in Turkey. 10,000 French troops deployed to boost security. Wow. Republican convention is coming up. I never watch the Democratic and Republican conventions. I mean, almost never. I watched the convention on TV 4 years before John F. Kennedy was picked, when he was trying to be picked as a vice presidential candidate. And then 4 years later, I watched the one where he was picked as the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, and that was the first time I was old enough to vote. The first president that I voted for was John F. Kennedy. So I've been around for a while. Okay, that's enough. Thank you very much for watching.